This story is really sad. Here it goes. I have always been interested in true crime and gory things, but I wasn't ready for what I saw in 7th grade. I was on the way home from practice when I saw this little red sports car speeding down the street. Now I kinda blocked out exactly what happened next, but the car somehow flipped over and the guy ended up getting decapitated. I was in shock. His scream sent chills through my whole body. It all happened so fast but so slow. As I was passing by, my eyes locked with his. He looked just like this kid at my school, only like 10 years older. I was so traumatized I had to go to counseling for years after. But the story only gets crazier. 3 years later, my best friend started to date the boy who the decapitated dude looked like. Let's call him Chris. So my best friend and Chris started dating freshman year of high school and even went to college with each other. But one day when they were both sophomores in college, Chris was in a freak accident and got decapitated almost the same way the dude did.
So last Halloween my softball team was planning on wearing matching costumes. They invited me kinda last minute, but I was just happy to be included. One of the girls even checked to make sure I got the right costume. Let's call her Chelsea. Chelsea texted me a few days before the party saying, "Since we invited you, some of the girls kinda don't want to do the costume and are dropping out since we don't talk to you that much." She basically asked me to not to do it after I already ordered the costume. I agreed to not do it and pretended I was fine, but I was actually really upset because I felt like they actually wanted to be my friends and I felt included, and that doesn't happen to me often. After sending the text I broke into tears, and that's when my dad walked into the room and saw me crying. After I told him what happened, he texted my mom at work.
So almost every day my fucking dumbass brother tries to annoy me so that I lose my temper. Bitch, what? Is it funny when I lose my temper? No. Is it dangerous? Yes. So one day the Donald Trump stick-looking asshole said that he would be a great only child, referring to that I should get put up for adoption. Excuse you. What? You really just tested my limits like every other day. So I decided that I had enough and chased him around the house with a knife. Let me tell you, you ain't living the real childhood if you haven't chased your sibling with a knife. Anyways, I calmed my horse and rushed up to his bathroom and replaced his toothpaste with foot cream. And that horny bitch is afraid of seals, so I sent him 20 pictures of seals, but then he blocked me. He really said, "How about that?" I also decided to make the hungry pig some food. I added a lot of hot sauce to the meat.
Hey bad bleeps, so once I had transferred to a new school and it was my first day, so I didn't really know anybody, so this guy offered to show me. His name was Jari, and around over time we began to get really close. So once when we were in school during lunch, he pulled me into the janitor's closet and we started making out, which shocked me because he had a girlfriend, and I asked what the fuck he was doing and he said that he'd always liked me and he wanted to do the deed. So I said, "Okay, when I tell you this man was good with what he was doing, he was good," and I was loud af because he was so good but gentle at the same time. While in the middle of it, his phone kept ringing and it was his girlfriend and he kept ignoring it. Then suddenly the door to the janitor's closet opened and I saw that it was his girlfriend. She asked what we were doing and it was clearly obvious, "You dumb bitch." She got mad ASF and she started swinging at me, but Jarian was holding her back, but she kept trying to hit me. But he wouldn't let her, so she started crying and ran off. I ran after her because I felt really bad, so I pulled her into an empty classroom and I apologized, but she just kept crying, so I kissed her and she kissed back. We ended up doing the deed, and after that
I went back to school after they reopened and had English first period. We were all talking about WAP and our English teacher said, "What does WAP mean?" The class went silent and I said out loud, "It stands for write a poem." My teacher said that's a brilliant idea and she wouldn't stop saying WAP after. The next day we go back to school to see WAP posters in every English classroom saying write a poem. This girl told the teacher after class what it really meant, but the school kept them up because they liked the posters and what they stood for. So my fucking dumb Xavier Martin Jumanji Walmart version Tony Loki asshole decided to drink coffee, eat Taco Bell and drain my mom's credit card by almost ordering every single item on the White Castle menu. We were on a 3-hour drive to my grandparents' house. My mommy dear just bought her a new car and Jesus decided to send a little gift on our drive. My fat ass ate all the food in about 30 minutes and I had to use the bathroom, but I was too embarrassed to ask my mom to stop at a garage. I let out this huge Nessa Barrett, but it was on X game mode. Shit, the force of that fart was fucking stronger than a whole fucking rocket ship. I felt something unusual running down my pants. Shit came running down my pants. It was so much I could literally feed my family for a decade. My brother was laughing at me like, "The fuck bitch, you know mom gonna kill me." My mom gagged when the smell finally hit her and she was legit about to throw me away. My mom speeded towards Target and that bitch gave me her credit card to go buy some new underwear. Neither of them wanted to go with me, so I was running like I have never been before with my hands covering my ass and everyone staring at me like I'm Kim Kardashian. Bitch, go home. I bought myself some new underwear and it was the most expensive ones I could find. As I got to my grandparents' house I had to go again. Someone was using the powder room, so I went to go shit in the bathtub. I slipped on my poo and fell into the bathtub where I had just done my business. I clogged all the drain.
In 7th grade I liked this guy and he did not know and I did not want him to know. But then my ex-best friend figured out that I liked him, so he went and told him, and when I figured out he told him, I blocked him. After about a day he texted me asking why I blocked him and I told him why. After that he said something about my weight, so I posted something on my Snapchat private story and one of my friends slid up and asked for his number. My friend went and talked to him about it, eventually agreed to fight. So the next day they met up and actually fought each other. It got so bad to the point where the cops had to get involved. Later that day I was asked to say what happened. So I told the cop and my ex-best friend almost got arrested. So long story short, my ex-best friend never talked to me again.
So in 3rd grade we were the fucking worst class in the whole school. We were fucking behaving like baboons. Our teacher never came to school, but I think that bitch became a mailman. I don't even fucking know because he never came back in like the first week of 3rd grade. We would have a new substitute each day because they were all fucking scared of 3rd graders. LMAO. One day a substitute we had came back. Bitch what? Big mistake. She yelled at us for disrespecting her. OMG, she really had the audacity. So we were better than ever. We all ganged up on that WAP ass. It progressively got worse. Our bad bleeps even made her cry. 2 minutes later she got a call that told her that her stepmom died. One dumbass kid started laughing and it was a special needs kid, so his laugh was contagious. We all started laughing and we never saw her again. Never mess with the bad bitch. In the 10th grade I was one of the cool kids at school. I dressed like an Edgar. I had a girlfriend and life was really good, but then I started having gay tendencies and I started to show some interest in boys. There was this one boy and he was always really nice to me and he was so cute, and after school at the end of the year he pulled me in for a kiss in the theater room because it was really dark in there. I heard laughter and I looked over at the chairs and it was some of my friends laughing and recording. It was so embarrassing and the boy I kissed looked sad and I didn't know what to do. People started making fun of me at school and making memes of me and posting it on Instagram and Snap. A month later during the summer I went out with the cute guy and when I was going home some kids from school jumped me and beat me up. I had to go to the hospital because of a broken rib. I'm still in the closet. And one time in class I had really bad stomach pain, like it was so bad the classroom was about to look like a nuclear blast just went through Charlie and the Chocolate Factory. I literally begged my teacher, and this lopsided oyster lip, back hair, unbrushed tongue, divorced 3 times, lost custody of her kids bitch told me I should have gone at lunch. Next thing you know a chocolate lake is running down my pants all over the carpet and I panic and start running around leaving a trail like a snail. I ran to the door to open it but she locked it with her keys and told me I should have gone at lunch and that it's not her fault I shit myself. I put my hands in my pants and started throwing my hot fresh diarrhea at her face and she vomited on the desk. I then grabbed her vomit and started throwing it at her face and she jumped out the window. I got expelled and she got fired, so it was a lose-lose or a win-win. LMAO.
I have a really old ass cat, and one day I was in a Zoom call with my camera and microphone off and I was hugging my old ass cat because I was tired, and my teacher asked us to turn our cameras on. But he never said we had to show our face, so I was like smiling face with horns, while my camera faced the ceiling fan, and I continued to play with my cat, but this raggedy old idiot wanted to eat, like the fat ass that he is. So the fat bitch used all of his strength to get out of my arms, and he got out of my arms and was already out the door like,
get that bread, get that head, then leave. Peace out.
Out the door, and the raggedy ass old ass fat bitch walked over my iPad. So the whole class saw my cat, they saw my fat old cat wobble himself to go eat, and everybody was like, OMG, it's a cat. Like, no bitch, it's Scooby-Doo the dog. And then my fat ass cat.
One time in 8th grade we had an assembly in the gym and for some reason they gave every kid a fucking glow stick. What? Anyways, they turned off the lights and really thought we would fucking act like mature young adults. But no, everyone immediately started freaking out like, what the fuck? It's just a stick. But I have to be honest, I also overreacted. We started screaming and fucking chucking them at each other. Someone really had the audacity to turn on the lights and the principal ran to the middle of the gym like a fucking chicken. He waved his short chubby hands and started screaming, don't throw glow sticks. All 2,000 kids in the gym suddenly had the telepathic mental connection because I kid you not, literally everyone started fucking throwing glow sticks at the principal, and I remember laughing blissful unicorn tears as hundreds of glow sticks flew through the air and bounced off the principal. The kid next to me got so emotionally overexcited and broke his glow stick in half and drank the liquid inside and had to go to the nurse. One day me and my classmates were on a Zoom call with our teacher for science. We kept writing WAP in the chat and our teacher had enough and said, what is WAP? Why does everyone keep saying it? This guy in our class said it stands for work and paper. The guy said we were doing our WAP right now and our teacher said great. Our teacher then said, Jennifer, show me your WAP right now. We all started laughing and our teacher was confused. He kept saying, why won't you show me your WAP? We were all dying from laughter and our teacher got upset and left the Zoom call. We all sat there kinda speechless and we all just sorta left one by one after. And I Okay, so this was in 4th grade and I was in a class with all these fucking dumbass kids. Here's a quick backstory. My parents always pack me a fruit for snack, but on this day they packed me like half of the leftover Pringles from the day before. I was really excited since I fucking love Pringles. But when recess came, the fucking Pringles wasn't in my bag. Like, bitch, what? So I couldn't eat it. I started scooping around the area, trying to find my Pringles. I called a teacher and she couldn't find it either. Then a thought came to my mind. What if Anna stole it? Anna was this chubby girl in my class and she was known for being a bitch. Being the fucking judgmental 10-year-old I was, I straight up concluded that she stole my damn Pringles. So I stomped out of the class and start searching for Anna. I'm talking checking areas, finding witnesses and wasting my time. So after a solid 10 minutes with recess almost over.
In 6th grade I was best friends with this mixed girl. And we went on the same bus too. So once we were going home on the bus while listening to music. The song that was on had the N-word in it. I knew the word was coming up, so I made sure I didn't say it 'cause I am white. But my mixed friend thought I said it, so she slapped me across the face and uppercutted me like she was not okay fighting. So I tried to tell her I didn't say the word, but she wouldn't listen. But then it was my stop, and as I stepped off of the bus she yelled and said that I said the N-word. But I didn't get in trouble 'cause me and the bus driver were close and he knew I didn't say it.
This was traumatizing, but a few weeks ago I was drawing something, and I was playing with my hair, until I felt something. I thought it was a leaf, so I poked at it. Turns out it wasn't a leaf, it was a fucking June bug. I must have pissed it off because it buzzed so fucking loud in my ear. It sounded like Mariah Carey up in that bitch. I freaked the fuck out and started screaming so fucking loud and ran across the house, and I went outside to my mom to get it out. She got it out and my dad and brother came outside, because he thought I cut my finger off. As he was laughing his ass off, I was still so shook and traumatized that I started crying a little, as my dad was still laughing his ass off.
Okay, so once in 5th grade my cousin and me were hanging out, and she's white by the way, and she said the N-word right in my face, and then she started saying it all the time. Mind you, she also called me names for years and tried to break my arm when we were 7. So anyways, let's get back to the 5th grade. Okay, so once again she said the N-word and I got really mad about it obviously, so I got this plan to throw her phone in our pond. So when it turned 10:30 at night she was asleep, but I was wide awake. BC, I never sleep, and I grabbed her phone and walked outside, started hitting her phone on a rock, and then I threw it in.
Anyway, so me and my boyfriend were drunk, and I mean drunk. We are both boys, if that changes anything. Anyway, I was sitting on his lap, and we were watching some really dumb videos, and one of them was really fucking funny, and I laughed so hard that I peed myself, so I pissed on his fucking leg, and I was scared, but he got a boner from it, and tbh it kinda turned me on too. Oops, smirking cat face. So the next day we talked about it a bit, and he said he jerked off to it, so I was like, oh, okay, and now we piss on each other, but we are obviously hydrated because yellow piss is fucking nasty. But yeah, kink shame me all you MFS want. At least I'm getting DCK, and it's actually big. I swear that man has a monster dong. Standing person with medium light skin tone. Sparkles.
One time I was playing WAP in the car and my mom said, "What is this garbage?" I said it's by Cardi B and it's called WAP. She asked me what WAP means and I froze and said it means worship and pray. She said okay, and that was that. When we got home later she posted to her church group on Facebook saying let's all WAP. All her church group members were replying saying yes, when we meet up we should WAP for each other. They then changed their church group name to the WAP Sisters. I still haven't told her what it really means, lol. I was chilling on a Zoom meeting and then my mama comes up to me with this fucking huge plate with tacos on it. I was like, bitch yes heaven, and started eating them tacos without hesitation until I heard my stinky winky teacher's voice saying I'm not allowed to eat in his class. Okay, you jealous bitch, it's not my fault you're too poor to afford food. And second of all, bitch, this my house and I can do whatever I fucking want. I didn't say that though, I just turned off my camera. All of a sudden my stomach started dancing and I was so dramatic I just fake fell onto my computer, and that's when I realized I fucked up. I turned my camera on by accident, and keep in mind my mic was unmuted. I let out this huge Lil Nessa Barrett Lil Shaddy and this huge pile of shit runs down my leg. Oh my fucking gosh, that was disgusting, and I was wearing gray sweatpants. I jumped up and this Willy Wonka chocolate factory waterfall came running down my pants. At that point my sweatpants was covered in shit, and when I turned around this whole fucking baboon of a class started laughing. Even my fucking teacher like, shut yo fucking mouths up before I come and murder every single one of you. My floor was covered in chocolate. Bitch, I could literally feed the entire African continent. My mom comes in with gloves and everything like, bitch really had better protection than the whole SWAT team. Shit still came out and I started crying my eyes out like, bitch this was a whole mess. I ran to the shower and sat there in tears. Long story short, I had to stay in my brother's room cause we I was forced to be friends with this annoying ass bitch who was obsessed with One Direction in middle school cause she was low-key toxic and always manipulated me. Basically I went to her house one day and all of a sudden her bitch ass started to roleplay that Niall Horan was her husband and that he impregnated her and that they were gonna have a wedding. I didn't know what to do so my dumb ass just stood there. Then she got pissed at me and forced me to be a nurse working at a hospital that would deliver her baby. We were in 7th grade at this time by the way. I complained and my ass was like, bitch what the fuck, I'm not delivering your imaginary baby doll for you and your baby daddy Niall. Basically she left the room to the bathroom and stuffed shirts up her shirt to make it look like she was pregnant and I'm low-key wanting to run out of her house but I can't or else my Mexican mother would beat me up with a chancla for being rude. Then she got onto her bed and spread her legs as if she was actually making me help her give birth and she had an actually fucking baby doll on her dresser which would be the baby and she forced me to actually tell her to push. I was cringing so much to the point where I then punched her stomach cause I was so annoyed and said oops you had a miscarriage. She then got really mad and started to cry and forced me to actually get the baby doll. So I grabbed the baby doll then threw it against the wall and she started crying to an imaginary Niall Horan saying our baby died anyways. Yes. So I have this music teacher and he's male and has been my teacher for 4 years. In 2012, he went to jail for a month because he was accused of touching girls at school but he was released because he wasn't found guilty. Everyone says that he is innocent, but every time he marks girls' assignments, first he looks at the girls' biddies and curves. Then he marks them with the maximum grade they can get. He even looks more insistent when a girl has a black bra underneath a white t-shirt, or when a girl is dressed in leggings. But when he marks the boys' assessments, he gives them a lower grade also. We have a school choir and guess what? There are only girls there. OMG, I think he's a.
One time in the 7th grade there was a girl that I really disliked because she was always blaming me for things that she did. It got to the point where she almost got me kicked out of this recital that we had at the end of the year and instead of confronting her I decided to be a bitch. My other friend and I had just bought ice cream and she accidentally dropped it out of the carton so we decided to out it back and add dirt to make it look like Oreo ice cream and give it to her. I honestly thought it would work but then my friend and I ended up watching silently as she ate every last bite.
Okay, so a couple years ago, I used to get bullied by these 2 girls. One of them was in my class and the other one was 2 grades above me and they had a friend that I was, in quotes, friends with. Just keep that in mind because it's gonna be real useful later in the story. But she always switched up on me and stuff and one day, the 2 girls, which were sisters, cornered me and they asked if I wanted to fight. I said no, and they kept bullying me, so I got in the fight with the friend. I dragged that hoe and one day in the summer, I was coming home from somewhere with my friends and they pulled up on me with their little bikes and followed me home. So, they kept asking if I wanna fight so I got tired of it and said yes, and my friend was like I got the sister, so I said nah, I got this, and I waited for a little bit and my parents pulled up and said get that bitch. I jumped off the porch and started to beat the brakes off that bitch and her sister kept trying to break it up while she was crying and I turned around and slapped that hoe. Then, in 6th and 7th grade I had a huge crush on my teacher, so I decided to write a fanfiction about everything I wish we could do together. It was really red hard and oddly detailed. I was only making it for myself, but I posted it to Wattpad because I didn't think anyone would actually read it. Turns out I was wrong, and the story kinda blew up. I now had this dilemma where if I kept the story up, I would be Wattpad smut famous, but there would be a chance that he could see it. I decided frick it and kept writing because duh, I obviously want to be famous. I also didn't think a 30-year-old man would be actively reading Wattpad stories. He never confronted me about it, but I'm 100% sure he read every word of that story, which at that time just made me write more. I'm now an accomplished romance writer, so, aha. One time in 10th I was 16 and also I am a boy and I had a school day which was parent-teacher conference and my school called my mom and told them that she needed to go but my mom had gotten surgery and she couldn't really move a lot and had to stay home and could not make it. And for my dad, well, he doesn't live with me and none of my uncles and aunts could not make it either, so I told my teachers and some of them were okay with it, but my math teacher, let call him Mr. McQuire, he was cute and hot, told me that he needed to talk to my parents because I was failing that class and I was like what the fuck. All the other teachers were okay with it and his dumb bubble gum looking ass square root -2 wearing tie ass called my mom and thought I was lying and my mom told him it was too but still wanting to talk in person for some dumb reason, and then he tell me he was going to come to my home to talk to my mom about my grades. The next day he came over to talk to my mom about that shit and asked where I was and came in my room to speak to me and told what I was failing on and asked me if I had any question and OFC my dumbass said yes. I asked some question about my grades OFC, but I then realized that he was in my room and I panicked, so I asked a really dumb question which was what is the average of a male
Up until about 7th to 8th grade I went to a relatively small Christian school in my town. In 9th grade I started public school though, and for some reason I had gained a lot of weight even though I ate the same amount that I had normally ate. A few months later, my mom took me out of school and told me I had to have an ovarian cyst removed the next morning. When the surgeon saw me he was like, "Wow, you look 6 months pregnant." It was like a 15 to 20 pound cyst. I was super freaked out. Turns out the whole school thought the same. The Christian school actually kicked me out for being pregnant and I had to leave earlier to have the baby. I thought I was just fat lol.
When I was in 4th grade I literally used to ride my bleeping blanket and I always thought I'd get pregnant by doing it, so whenever I did it, I always used to eat soap or drink window cleaner spray to kill the baby in my stomach. I used to cry, thinking that I will actually get pregnant and that my parents will beat TF out of me if they find out, but when I actually found out that you can't get pregnant by doing that, I felt so dumb. So this one time I thought it was a good idea to wear a see-through underwear. So I was in class and my skirt was very short. I was pushing back on the chair and I kept doing it cause I felt badass, but then I fell and hit my head and the whole class saw my pussy and proceeded to. This story is told by Amira. So one day in 3rd grade I forgot the next day was show and tell. I went to school and when the teacher said it was time for show and tell I almost shit myself. So a few kids were before and this boy named Liam said he had to go to the bathroom while this girl was doing her show and tell. Everyone just stared at him and the teacher just skipped him and he didn't have to go. I thought maybe I could do the same thing and get away with it. So I said I have to poop in front of the whole class and one boy even said, "Wait, girls poop." Everyone laughed and they were making fun of me. A few minutes later the teacher said I can go. Once I was done a girl raised her hand and said I forgot it was show and tell. "Can I do mine tomorrow?" And the teacher said yes. I felt so stupid and dumb. Once I got home my mom asked, "How was your day, honey?" I told her that story and she just gave me a